show. We mentioned that earlier on. Please do, if you want to talk to us about not just the topics on the show, but any topic at all, please give us a call. Our phone number is 206-421-5658. Give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you.
So what else do we have on the docket?
On the docket also, speaking of this atheist, how we're incapable of morality, or how this atheist visibility movement, there's actually this bus boycott that's happening. This is actually coming from a Fox affiliate in Fort Worth, Texas. The latest atheist bus ads are going up, and if we actually have the JPEG of that, I'd love to show you what this horrible ad that's causing boycotts is.
That's terrible.
Oh, geez. Millions of Americans are good without God.
That's not what the Bible says.
No, it's not. See, when you look at this, this is what's getting people to say, this is what the minister says. If there's a fight out there, they need to pick the right enemy. I don't think the transit authority needs to be fighting. There's a group that funded these ads, and they're against the words in the ad. They're just going off and off about this is anti-God or anti-this. No, this is simply asserting that we are moral too. Not we're moral and you're not.
Right.
We're not saying about anything about any other group of people, not religious believers. We're not saying we're moral and you're not.
Or more moral. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not saying that we have any kind of superior thing. We're simply saying that it is possible to be good without a belief in your fairy tales. Period.
Simple
That's
as that.
That I don't need to believe that the world is 6,000 years old and that a talking snake in a tree did it.
You want a provocative bus ad? How about this one? If God exists, may he strike everyone dead on this bus.
Oh.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
But it's weird, is even that isn't as offensive as some of the billboards I've seen. I actually saw a billboard once that simply said, "Why do atheists hate America?" And it was over the controversy with Michael Newdow suing to get Under God out of the Pledge of Allegiance and reverted to the pre-1950s version,
Right.
which originally did not include the words Under God.
Right.
So, I mean, it's amazing. We're not saying anything about any other group. We're simply saying that we, too, are moral, that we, too, are capable of being good and decent. I don't know how that could possibly be misconstrued as any kind of attack or controversial or strident. I just don't see it. And also, it really sort of illustrates this point that there is no billboard that is so innocuous that it will not get somebody pissed off at it.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, they do want us to make that concession, that they're the ones that hold the keys to the vault that says morality.
Right.
That is bunkum.
Right.
That is malarkey. That is such crap.
And the subtext here is that what they're saying is, atheists, be quiet. We don't want to hear from you. We don't want you to put up billboards or signs or make us aware of you. Don't wear shirts. Just be quiet.
Wouldn't it be nice if you would just shut up and go away? Which is amazing, because this is the exact same stuff they said to the gay rights movement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Why don't you just not force it down my throat?
Right. Just by their very existence, it's forcing it down the throats of others.
It was so much easier when we could just pretend you didn't exist, and we could say horrible things about you in public, and there wouldn't be any kind of a response, which is exactly the same crap that's
The good old
happening
days.
there. The good old days, where everyone was white and Christian, and if you weren't, we could push you off to the side.
Yeah, and I feel like that's really what folks like Bill O'Reilly and the Fox Network, I think that's what they represent, is that if you're not white Christian, then you're not us.
You're somehow lesser in some way.
Yeah.
But it's always that weird appeal to some kind of past time. And it's like, yeah, everyone thinks that they lived in more innocent times when they were a kid. Because you were a kid. You know how much crap your parents didn't tell you about when you were 5? Seriously, do you go around talking about the war in Iraq or the AIDS epidemic or something to a 3-year-old? It's like, yeah, I'm going to sit you in front of the McLaughlin group, kid. Enjoy.
I watched Land of the Lost as a kid.
Seriously?
I thought that was a fantastic show.
Yeah,
I know better now.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But there are people who honestly believe humans and dinosaurs coexisted. So, yeah.
Well, if God exists, may he strike down everyone dead in the studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just so tired of the weird sort of arrogance. They don't really seem to realize how arrogant it is to saying we are the ones who have a monopoly on being good.
On truth, on values, on freedom of speech. We brought this all to you as a gift from God.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
speaking of billboards.
What else do we have? Well, this is a great one. And I thank you so much for letting me read this one, because this... Billboards to proclaim Jesus' return on May 21st, 2011. Mark your calendars and get ready. According to 20 billboards to appear Monday across Metro Detroit, Jesus is returning May 21st, 2011. And if you aren't saved, it isn't going to be easy, says the Christian website behind the billboards, which read, "He is coming again." Do we have a? I don't think we have a picture of it.
But Jesus will be back.
Right.
And it's hilarious because, one, I have to believe that they're giving us the date in 2011 because they want to sort of cut off the 2012 guys at the pass.
Right, yeah.
It's like, our end of the world is coming first.
Yeah.
And we're going to beat you out.
What do those Mayans know about the end of the world
Yeah,
anyway?
seriously.
Jeez.
Where are you guys now?
Yeah.
Yeah, take that, Mayan Empire. And the other one is that the second thing I got from is this guy has to be a true believer in the same way that Hal Lindsey was a true believer.
Right.
Where he proclaimed that, wasn't it the name of that book, like 50 Reasons that the world will end?
It was 88 Reasons the World Will End in 1988. That was the book, if I remember right.
Spoiler alert. It didn't.
Yeah, sorry.
So it's the same thing. Didn't it move up to 1992?
And they often do. They often do. When these sort of end of the world prophecies don't come true, they either get adjusted or justified out and just change. But one fascinating thing about it is it never changes the amount of belief that a group has. They just believe in something else.
But you're making some kind of future prediction about the end of the world, and you're wrong every single time because the world hasn't ended. Then
stop making predictions.
Stop making predictions,
okay.
Or at least make them far enough ahead that you'll be dead by the time you get embarrassed.
Yes.
Boom. So we should probably get to the topic.
Let's do it.
Let's dive head first into some serious bunkum.
Okay. So what we thought we'd do is the name of today's show is Pseudoscientific Gadgets, and we're going to take a look at some of the leading contenders of pseudoscience that are prevalent today. The first one is the infamous Q-ray bracelet. Why don't we pull up the first slide on that one? The Q-ray bracelet came to our attention in about 2000. Basically, it works like this. The Q-ray bracelet is an ionized bracelet that rose as a result of an infomercial campaign in 2000 to 2003. During this time, many claims were made about the product's alleged effectiveness, most notably relief from pain and arthritis due to the manipulation of the body's chi. We have the wrong slide up there. We're looking for slide number 1, please.
That is a Q-ray bracelet, though.
But it is a Q-ray bracelet, yeah.
There we go.
There we are, slide number 1.
Ding on there.
It's ionized.
Which means I think they took electrons out of its out of the atom.
Yes.
Which means is it decaying and radioactive?
Yeah. Well. So anyway, there's a few things that I want you to note on this. It's not magnets; it's ionized. Okay. Early on in the Q-ray thing, that they like to put attention on the fact that there weren't magnets in it. That it's a serious performance bracelet.
Serious performance bracelet.
It doesn't say what kind of performance. It's just performance. It could be bad performance. We don't know. It's often imitated, never duplicated. We'll actually see some duplications very soon. And wearing is believing, which I think is an extremely important tag phrase if your product does absolutely nothing.
Am I right where that says that's $50?
It's $50. It used to retail for up to $350 when it first came out.
Wow.
And, through promotions and the march of time, they just kept dropping the price. So,
wow.
The next slide number 2, I'm going to read a little bit to you because this is actually a little tough to read. According to the traditional Chinese yin-yang theory...
Is that a theory?
It's a theory, a hypothesis. Qi circulates in the body along the 12 major energy pathways called meridians, each linked to specific organs in body's electrical system. Now, the disclaimer, this part is really important. The manufacturer makes the claim that this is a scientific theory regarding this product. It's a little bit blurry. These statements have not been authorized or evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any or prevent any disease.
Can we get that picture back up again? I want to see that picture of the Chi map. Does that look suspiciously like the board from Operation?
Yes.
Don't touch the sides. So yeah, I love because the idea that this is actually scientific. Ask yourself this: have you ever seen a picture like that in a doctor's office?
Never, not once. No, if a doctor had that or a map of the humors, I would just walk right out.
Yeah. I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to my regular leecher.
So let's go to slide number 2A, and that's got the 2A, and basically the Q-ray once again makes claims, but they're very inspecific. And in this one, they say a better looking swing guaranteed. They don't say how it's better. They don't say anything about it, but other than it's a better looking swing. So
They don't really specify what wrist you're supposed to put this stuff on.
they're actually on the website. It actually does give instructions for how it should be worn. But one thing that I found really interesting is that the models that they use to model these, that they wear them all differently. That none of them follow the actual recommended guidelines for how to wear them.
It kind of reminds me of an experiment that Penn and Teller did with feng shui, where they got these feng shui consultants to come into a room and set it up this perfect. Now, oh yeah, this is science. And then they left it as it and brought another feng shui guy in, and they said, oh, well, this is totally wrong, and they'd set it up in a totally different way. So it really kind of betrays that there is no science behind something if you can't even build a basic consensus on how this thing is supposed to work.
Right, and that's one of the hallmarks of pseudoscience is this the lack of agreement about how something works, because everyone's pulling from their own favorite set of cherry-picked facts.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Except for the chi thing. I don't think that's a fact.
Well, I don't think anybody even agrees about how chi works. I think if you did a search on chi, everyone would try to manipulate it in some completely different way that just didn't make any sense. Anyway, that's probably a good topic for another day is, what about the chi?
That we're even talking about energy fields that we haven't even proven existed.
Yeah. So anyway, let's for our...
Can we get that picture up of how does it work?
Yeah, we will get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. So in 2003, the FTC took Q-Ray to court, and they won an injunction against the Q-Ray folks. And what the major factor of the rulings was that the Mayo Clinic demonstrated no significant effect from the Q-Ray bracelet on muscle pain relative to the placebo effect. And a bit about the placebo effect is that 27% of the population is susceptible to the placebo effect, which basically states that if I gave you a sugar pill, told you that this pill relieved pain, you would actually feel pain relieved. So that, in a nutshell, that's the placebo effect. So anyway, they found that this bracelet was no better than the placebo effect whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So Q-Ray lost $87 million on that, and they learned their lessons. Instead of actually going out of business, we're going to have you pull up another slide. Instead of actually going out of business, they changed the way they marketed the product. So I actually want you to go ahead and pull up 03. And in 03, this is a catalog from their this online catalog. Instead of saying what it does, it just says what it is. It has magnets, which have been used for centuries to promote a healthy lifestyle.
Sort of like leeches or exorcism.
Yes, and we know how healthy folks were for centuries. For centuries, people have been much healthier than they are right now. So thank goodness for the Q-Ray bracelet, bringing back Stone Age medicine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think things were so much better when it was all about, getting demons out of your body.
Yes.
To promote good health. Yeah. And again, if we are a call-in program, if you want to give us a phone call and talk about any ladder of charlatans and hucksters or anything else related to religion or anything. It's like, oh my God, I have an atheist on the phone. If you want to talk to us,
yes, bring it on.
Give us a call. Our phone number is 206-421-5658.
We would love to hear from you.
Love to hear from you.
So the next slide I'd love for you to bring up in the booth is 03C. It's
this is from their FAQ, isn't it?
This is from their FAQ. You go to the Q-Ray website and you ask, you hear the frequently asked questions. And the first one, I love this one. How does the Q-Ray bracelet work?
How does it work?
How does it work? Well, very simple. The Q-Ray is about empowerment and choice.
Oh.
Many people who choose Q-Ray tell us that they are making a conscious effort to improve their lives through better nutrition, more exercise, and more activity. Q-Ray works for them.
But it doesn't say they better their life through Q-Ray.
It just says
through nutrition and exercise.
It's about empowerment and choice. This is a very populist appeal. This is a very populist appeal that with our bracelet you are more powerful. You have made a choice, and it really speaks to this common denominator of lack of intelligence of, wow, this bracelet gives me things that I hadn't considered before.
It sort of reminds me of that you would feel better with more, better diet and more exercise and healthier living, whether you wore the Q-Ray bracelet or not.
Yeah.
So it becomes this sort of thing, sort of like Dumbo's magic feather. If you remember from the Disney film Dumbo, Dumbo could fly. That was the cool thing about him having big ears. However, he's basically tricked halfway through in the movie into believing that the power of flight actually comes from a magic feather that he was given. His flight power is innate. The feather has nothing to do with it, but we said this weird tendency to try to externalize things that are inside of us, whether it's morality or some kind of physical or whatever ability and give it all to this object. And it seems like that's what we're doing with Q-ray. And the fact that they mention health and exercise in that description basically says like they're trying to go, okay, yeah, we're not claiming anything. And they don't even actually say what the Q-ray does. And anywhere in that description, they say, how does it work? Like if I wanted to say, how does the internal combustion engine work? They wouldn't say, well, the internal combustion engine is all about empowerment and choice.
Yes.